Hey, welcome back. I got a fun one for you today. We are going to go through the Smooth Precision Pens collection, and I'm going to rank my models. I think there were 9 different models I came up with by my favorites from least to favorite to most favorite. This is an example of a version 2.2 from Smooth Precision Pens. This one has the anodized dragon scale finish with a super cool Zerkatite clip. This one would rank very high as it goes, but I'm actually going to look at just the 2.2 as a model, not the specific one, but I'll show you some examples like this as we go. So starting from my least favorite, which is still a great pen, we are going to go with the version 2 Tiescribe. This was made by Urban Survival Gear brand. On the top, you'll notice it's flat. There's no milling there or anything. On the clip, you'll see it's got a laser of the logo from the Urban Survival Gear logo. And I can't remember if there's anything under the clip on this one, but I don't think so. Doesn't look like it. Let's see. No, I don't think so. This one happens to be a mini, but this one would rank the lowest for a few reasons for me, even though it's still a good pen. First, you got a little bit of a gap here when it's open. I just think that's an aesthetic faux pas. The action it's okay, but it's not like super great. You can mess around with it a little bit with different spring sizes and stuff. So if you go in here and change out the spring, that can definitely change things up and make it feel different. So that is one of your options. I just think overall, the version 2 is at the bottom of the stack for me, which is, again, still saying a lot. It's still a great pen and it's in the collection. The next one is the CamClick model. This was actually the last one that was made. So ironically, one of the first ones and one of the last ones are at the very bottom of the pile for me. Great pen all around. A lot of things I like about the version 2.2, but a bit top heavy because of the mechanism, a bit rattly because of the mechanism. It's just very over-engineered. This one happens to have a Zerkatite clip on it. Pretty cool. But that one, just due to the over-engineering and everything, although it does have some really cool fidgetiness and you can kind of use it in different ways and stuff. It's got some cool novelty. The CamClick is at the bottom of the stack for me. This one happens to be a full size, so you can see the difference between a mini and the V2 and a full size. The third to last, or maybe the third, if you want to call it, or the 7th, I guess, is the version 1. In the version 1, I actually like a little more than the version 2 because it doesn't have the logo lasered onto the clip. It has it in a really nice way machined into the top cap. And I actually think it looks really nice there, and it's a little more subtle. This one is a full size. You can actually see the finish is a little different than that version 2. This one's a bit more stonewashed looking, but without dwelling too much, you still have some of the faux pas of the version 2, of course, because it's the version 1. But I do like that one slightly more, mostly due to the logo difference there. Now, a lot of these were available in things in different materials like brass and copper and stuff, and they actually have a lot of different finishings on them. So I'm trying not to go too much into that, more just looking at the model itself and how do I think it is as a pen, like more objectively. So yeah, number 7, I guess we're going to go with that order, is the version 1. So the next one coming in at number 6 is the version 3. The version 3 is a sort of awkward model that came along the way. It did fill the gap here, and it actually got rid of the, by the way, these have different screws in them, which is kind of interesting. You can see that one's a Torx and that one's a hex, but it got rid of the screws in the pocket clip, and it created a nice little landing pad here that followed through on many other models from there. But the V3 was a really cool model. And this one happens to be a mini. It did have a bit of a super long pocket clip, so that's like one of the things I don't like about it, but it's super smooth. Basically, maybe one of the best actions of all the pens. Still had the tall top cap, nothing embroidered on the top. I don't know if there's anything under the clip here. Let's see. No machining there. There might have been a little something like inside of here or something for the brand. I don't know. I guess not. Looks like there's no branding on it if I'm seeing everything correctly, but had an interesting finish, kind of unique, where he actually stonewashed inside of the grip on this one. As you can see, On the earlier models, that was kind of common, and then on the later models, he would do the stonewash first and then do the milling for the grip, which was kind of cool. Made it a very unique look versus a lot of the other pens in the market. So that one's coming in at number 6 there. Number 5 on the list, really nice here, is the USG GO Pencil. And this one's kind of a toss-up, frankly, with the 2.2 pencil. But it's a little thicker. Some people would actually probably prefer it. I personally prefer the 2.2 thickness, although, man, this thing feels good in hand. And now you're seeing really the most modern, the modern clip, modern logo under the clip, modern clip size, really coming into some of my favorite elements of what Kelvin did with urban survival gear. So that's the USG GO Pencil that he came out with. And the GO Pencil and the 2.2, I believe, use the same Schmidt mechanism on them, although I'd have to double check by taking that apart. So number 4 on the list here is the USG GO Pen. All the things I like about the pencil, but the pen version, which I prefer the pen to the pencil, just in general, for the same models, super duper smooth. And you had a little plungy top cap where if you're tricky, you can actually kind of deploy the pen from the top cap. Logo on the top cap is a little bit different than some of the other models again, but this one's lasered on there, if you can see that. Best way for me to help that get focused in there. And just all around good model. Again, these USG GOs are a little thicker. This is a simpler model than the 2.2, so in some ways I like it more because you just need a bolt to complete a build, especially now that he's closed down. You can build these a little easier because you don't need a top cap. But overall, really great model coming in there at number 4. And it was a real toss-up on that one versus this one. This is the version 2.1, which is indicative by the logo here on the bolt. Some of them actually had it on the cap as well. You can see a slightly different finish again on this particular 2.1 mini, which is a very rare variant, a 2.1 mini. But that one comes in at number 3. A lot of the things I like about the 2.2, just a little less polished and a little over logoed, but overall a great addition to the collection. Coming in at number 3, man, my favorite mechanical pencil ever made. Prove me wrong, tell me about one that you love more in the comments, but the Smooth Precision Pens version 2.2 pencil here, man, this is my go-to, super light, just a great mechanical pencil. You can get this in a full size or a mini. This is a full size here, and that is my favorite mechanical pencil ever made. Again, all the things I like about sort of the modern 2.2 variant there, but in a pencil with definitely with a Schmidt in the mechanism there. And coming in at number 1 of the models, and we're going to go into a little bit about this model, is the version 2.2. This is my go-to pen. I use this one on my desk every day of the business week. You can see it's starting to get like a little bit of wear in there, but man, this thing just keeps kicking. It just seems like it would go for years without any issues. Maybe if you really carried a lot, maybe you can mess up the pocket clip or something like that, but super minimalist on the logo. Love the landing pad, love the action on this. I've swapped my spring just to make it even more custom to my liking. Love the grip, just an all-around amazing model. And what was so cool about this model was that he came out with a ton of options, including a zirconium version, which is unmatched in the polished version. To me, it's the nicest pen in hand that I've ever handled. Probably my favorite pen model ever made. There is a zirconium version of the pencil in 2.2. You saw the really cool milling and anodization he did here on this dragon, which is really cool. And that's my number 1 favorite milling. My number 2 favorite milling here in a Zirc version is the Jigsaw. I just think it's amazingly well done. If you look at the milling the lines in every pocket going different directions and stuff, it's pretty amazing. Just a really cool variant of the 2.2. And then my 3rd favorite milling, and there were quite a few more that I just don't own because I don't love them, but the Twister I think is a really cool variant as well. This is about as abrasive as I'll go. The Jigsaw as well, they're just not great in hand to me compared to these versions because they're smooth up here and they just feel better in hand, but you can't you can't argue with how beautiful these are. He even did, for instance, this dragon with a dragon scale matching clip. That's probably the most sought after cool version of a Smooth Precision pens I have in my collection right there, full Zerk with the Zerk dragon clip. Pretty unbelievable. So those are my favorite millings. The dragon is #1, the jigsaw is #2, the twister's #3. He also did quite a few others. Won't go through them all, but the Valhalla and what was it called? The Digital or something like that. No, the Digital is a different brand. I can't remember what it's called. Blockchain was what I was thinking of. Now, along the way here, he had different types of cases. This would be like the early V1 case. Here's like a V2. Yeah, there were some V2s that were available in a case kind of like this. That was more of a square. But here's a V2 kind of like transition case. Also, the V3 was available in that case, or box, or whatever you want to call it. The GOs came in a case like this, or a box like that, and then ultimately ended up in the Smooth Precision Pens box, and this is where, you know, the business closed. So there were quite a few variants in just the boxes themselves, but overall, this is how I rank them, top, you know, from #9 to #1 of my favorites. They're all great pens, but you can just see how the evolution came along. Of course, this was kind of a de-evolution in my opinion, but had some cool elements of the 2.2, but some over-engineering on the mechanism and stuff. So hope you enjoyed that, and maybe hopefully it helped you understand the models a little better as well. And if you enjoyed the content, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.